White House launches probe into Biden's autopen use and major escalation of cover-up controversy. Here's the challenge with this. This guy here that was his doctor.
No, that's not his doctor, Pat. This is Anthony Bernal. He's Joe Biden's top aide and Jill Biden's chief of staff.
Oh, that's right. This is the guy that was pleading the fifth for asking about the health cover-up, all that stuff.
This guy. He's one of them, too.
So while they're going through this about the autopen, Biden tells New York Times, Rob, do you have a video on this or is it just a story?
Just a story.
He tells New York Times he did not individually approve names of many pardoned via autopen. Well, that's some big stuff there, to the point where Josh Hawley came out and had to even talk about this. He says, former President Joe Biden admitted to New York Times that he did not individually approve each name for category pardons issued via autopen, stated that he signed off on a standard for large batches of clemency actions in his final months, with aides confirming Mr. Biden did not individually approve each name for the categorical pardons that applied to a large number of the Times noted Biden issued 4 large sets of pardons, 3 of which were categorical. Biden's team, led by then White House staff Secretary Stephanie Feldman, managed the autopen process with emails showing Biden set criteria in meetings with top advisors like Chief of Staff Jeffrey Zients, is that the guy? And White House counsel Ed Siskel, who relayed instructions to Assistant One former aide, explained rather than ask Mr. Biden to keep signing revised versions, his staff waited and then ran the final version through the autopen, which they saw as a routine procedure. Okay, Rob, do you have the Josh Hawley clip?
I do.
On this, can you play that? Go for it.
All over this autopen situation, it's just becoming now front page news. What in the hell's going on, and what can you do about it?
Well, what needs to happen, a couple things. I mean, first of all, we need to call the person. We now have the name of the person who managed the autopen under Biden. I believe the individual is a woman. She needs to be called before Congress, put under oath, testify in public. We need to hear from her. We need to know exactly what did he authorize, when did he authorize it. I suspect the truth is, Steve, he didn't authorize anything, which would be like the scandal of the century. We need to know that. Number 2, there is supposed to be a paper trail. You know, we had a hearing on this in the Senate a couple of weeks ago. To me, the big revelation out of that hearing was every time the autopen is used, there's supposed to be an explicit paper trail. The president has to, at a minimum, give verbal consent to use it, and a record is made of that. So let's get all the documents. Let's see them. They should be in Biden's archives. They ought to be in his papers. We need to go get them. If Biden's not going to release them voluntarily, Congress ought to subpoena those documents and get them and put them out in public. Where's the paper trail? Who authorized the use of the pen? That's what we need to be getting after.
Okay. Tom, thoughts on this?
Well, what Biden just said to the New York Times was basically a birthday present to Josh Hawley, because Josh Hawley's wanted to investigate this, and now I think he's going to get his congressional hearing. If it turns out that the president didn't approve names of pardons, I'd like to know, once Congress gets a hold of that, how do those pardons hold up? I don't know what the legal path is to getting your pardon held up. Is it reasonable reliance that you reasonably believed you were pardoned? Okay, well, that's fine. But if you weren't really pardoned, I want to know what the legal path is here, because these pardons impact the American people. That people who have committed crimes were granted clemency. All those drug criminals, where it turns out now, remember all the marijuana?
Of course.
You call them criminals. I hate to do that, but it was the people that were in prison for distribution of marijuana that now you would get 14 days at county or something. So I'm concerned about where do we go from here, because Josh Hawley, I believe, is going to have hearings on this. And if there were names that weren't approved, such as Fauci, I think that opens the whole, it's not Pandora's box. It opens the process to dive into COVID. I'm not worried about the individual people that may find out they're not pardoned on other things, but this would open up the ability to prosecute on COVID.
Oh, I personally don't think that, like, I like Josh Hawley, but Republicans are all bark and no bite. How many more hearings? How many more letters? How many more? All they do is talk. Democrats, say what you want about them, bro. They go for your jugular. They will start lawfare on your ass. They will go, oh, this property's not, it's worth $15 million or this. They will go after you and they will cut off your freaking life supply. Okay, and Pat, if we don't mind, Rob, because I'm going to go back just to get the audience caught up. Last week, Joe Biden's personal physician, his name was Kevin O'Connor. He showed up in front of Congress. He invoked the Fifth Amendment when asked about Biden's mental health, cognitive fitness, and who was actually making decisions in the White House. Then yesterday, do you mind if we play this, Pat? This is Anthony Bernal, Joe Biden's top aide and Jill Biden's chief of staff. He also invoked the Fifth. Look at this guy and tell me if you don't feel guilt. Go ahead, Rob. You can play it.
Mr. Bernal, did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Yeah. Look at how happy he is. Look at this guy. Look at him.
Thank you. We're going to go off the record real quick.
And then look, they go, nope, go back on the record.
Okay, we'll go back on the record.
They went off the record for a second for a question.
Mr. Bernal, was President Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Bernal has
Bernal.
invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
Watch this.
Mr. Bernal,
One
please
more.
be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
But legally speaking, he
Mr.
just
Bernal,
said yes.
Did any unelected official or family member of President Joe Biden execute the duties of the presidency?
Look at this.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
Rob, you
pursuant to
can
my
stop
Fifth
it.
Amendment.
Okay. Now, if you guys remember, do you guys remember this, Tommy? About a month ago, David Hogg was caught undercover by James O'Keefe, and he was saying that Bernal was the one actually running the White House. This is the guy.
The question for me is like, how corrupt is the DNC?
Too loud. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob.
The question for me is like, how corrupt is the DNC if so many people knew, or few people knew about Biden? Well, the president of the United States.
I mean, I think the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like a campaign arm of the president, ultimately. The bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden.
Here we go.
That's it.
And I can't stress to you enough.
Like Joe Biden's chief of staff,
Boom.
like had an enormous amount of power.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret at the level. Like, I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Bernal.
Boom. That's him. Okay. So let's break this down. The president's personal doctor and his top aide plead the Fifth. Okay. It's not about classified missions. It's not about foreign intelligence. They were asked these simple questions. Was Joe Biden mentally fit to serve? Okay. That should be a yes or no answer. Were you ever told to lie about his condition? And was someone else calling the shots behind the scenes? They refused to answer that because under the Constitution, the Fifth Amendment, it protects you when you're answering. Your answers could expose you to criminal charges. So I'll ask you guys, what's criminal about saying the president is fine, unless he's not? Okay, unless it is a cover-up, unless someone else was running the country, which I believe that they were, unless the American people were lied to. Okay, we were lied to intentionally, repeatedly, and in ways that carry serious legal consequences. Okay, and listen, this is the Constitution, Pat. He has the right, they both have the right to remain silent, but we have the right to demand the truth. Okay, and if people that were the closest to him, like this guy, Anthony Bernal right here, were closest, when they were the ones calling the shots, something has to, like, what do we do, Tom, to change this? Like, how do you change the fact that the physician is pleading the Fifth when we know?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Vinny. Rob, can you run a poll? Which of these two issues is, guys in the back are so good. Like, whoever did that.
That was professional.
Stuff. That's Jake or the guys. Make some noise so I know who it is. Was it Andres or Jake?
Jake?
Who was it?
Jake.
You're a stud, buddy. But when the poll, Rob, right now is, which of these two issues is more important to you? Before you answer right off the bat, take 5 seconds to vote for it, okay? If you could only choose one of these two to be revealed, the truth, Epstein files or Fauci, which one is it? Rob, run the poll, okay? Epstein, and I'm going to give you some data that just was released right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Epstein or Fauci. You only have one to choose from. I know you're greedy, you want both. We all are, but you can only choose one.
Very greedy, and I'm like, right?
I know, but which one is more important to you. I wouldn't even sell either one of them. Because I know I could sell them, but I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to leave it to you. Okay, and then we all can vote for it.
So hard. It's so hard.
You got to pick one because it's not 50-50. To me, it's not a 50-50 issue.
I think me personally, with and hear me out, with China, with Trump holding them accountable for
don't show that, Rob.
I don't want to see nothing.
Yeah.
With the trade war, with the leak, with the lockdowns, with the vaccine, with people, my family members, a vaccine injured, with the deaths, with the lies, with the cancer that's happening, I would go COVID and Fauci.
By the way, and I think, Tom, you're probably there as well. And Adam, I think you're, I don't even need to ask you. I know you're going to be there as well.
I wrote it down.
Though I don't think either is that crazy important to you.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened with China with Fauci is a little bit more
so
important.
Watch the
I actually
poll.
think you're a loser if you choose Epstein.
We already
in this
know
situation.
that. We're stupid people are losers. I got you. But go up.
I agree.
Go up, Rob.
I agree with Trump.
Go up, Rob.
That if you choose this,
how
you're
many
a
people
loser.
voted? 1658. 62 Fauci.
Yeah, so 64.
38% Epstein. So now, they just Enton, you know Enton from CNN, which sounds like the polls they do is fairly fair and reasonable.
I agree.
So you can't just pick and choose to say, no, this one I don't agree with. They ran a poll to see how the MAGA-based voters that voted for Trump, what percentage of them had this Epstein fumble caused them to lose their mind that they said, I'm done with Trump, I'm moving away. Rob, can you please play that clip? Watch this, okay? And we have to show stuff that agree with us and don't agree with us. So just go ahead, Rob.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of
leaving
all
Trump
these
over
complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down, Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% were Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his popularity with Republican voters. Epstein files, complaints,
this was
or
just
not.
released now.
You just proved that not everything online is real.
Yes,
in real life.
Who knew?
Amazing.
Twitter and X are not reality.
Is there any reason that you can find that this hasn't taken hold and hurt him?
Yeah. I mean, on X, all you hear about is the Epstein files. But how about out in the real public? Republicans who said the top issue was Epstein case. The answer is one, and not 1%.
His name is Vinny.
One respondent. This is a great little finding that Ariel Edwards-Levy, who of course is part of our polling unit, found. Just one single Republican said that the nation's top problem is in fact the Epstein case. Not much of a surprise that therefore Donald Trump's approval rating has not suffered with Republicans because of the Epstein case. Because the bottom line is most Americans say it's not high up on their priority.
So Vinny, how do you respond to that when you see something like that? Because again, CNN would have loved to have shown this to show the decline. So now watch this. Remember how I said whoever you follow and whatever you say, you know, whoever you follow a lot long enough and you read their tweets every day, whether you know it or not, you're going to take a lot of their philosophy and ideology on you. Affirmations have power, words have power. Okay. America's not X. It's just not. I'm telling you, America's not X. However, imagine if the people who are upset with what happened with Epstein, to me, biggest fumble so far in the administration, it's that. And it's still not affected him.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, I can go to New York, I'm still not. Okay. If they want to get a certain level of status, of like saint status, if they're able to address this Fauci thing and get it, remove Fauci's pardon. Supreme Court votes 5-4. You can go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court votes 5-4. The pardon's been removed. Then Hawley, Rand Paul, they go after him. RFK goes after Fauci. All of that is public. Fauci's not going to go to jail, but all of that is public. And we all find out that him and all these guys lied. The level of redemption, how many people will sit there and say, freaking about time?
I mean, you're saying find out that they lied. I mean, we already know that they lied. The facts are out there, but it's the accountability of holding his foot to the fire and having him go in front of Congress, and not because he knows that the Democrats own the House and the Senate. Fauci was yelling at people because he knows he was untouchable.
The Americans, who now forget about politics, just how Americans feel about COVID, they're up over 70% support, and they're in the "I told you so." So when you ask them, are you pleased to hear Johnson & Johnson said that they went too fast, they didn't test it? Are you pleased to see court cases that are saying those vaccines are unsafe? Are you pleased to see saying all the mandates for kids having vaccines have been removed? Are you pleased with that? All of that's over 70%. Strictly related to the vaccine, Americans are over 70% approving and supporting all of the truth that's coming out right now. Mm-hmm. You take that, Pat, that 70%. When
Tom,
you put Fauci on the stand, he's the villain that caused it.
So what I'm saying to you is, and Adam, I'm going to come to you and we're going to wrap up. What I'm saying to you is, if we have 1/10 of influence over the administration, 1% influence over the administration, and they watch. We know they watch to show some of the things that we say. The way politics works, stories come and go. Trust me, a crisis is going to happen in the next week. You're going straight to the crisis. Wait for it. You will see how quickly America moves on. Fortunately, unfortunately, whatever you want to call it, that's the game of politics how it works. That is the worst interception of all time. Boom, you moved on. Okay, to the next fumble. But if these guys are able to actually do this, I believe this is bigger than John F. Kennedy assassination. I believe this is bigger than 9/11. I believe this is the biggest one out of all of them.
I agree.
If they do this.
And why do you say that over JFK and 9/11?
Because JFK didn't influence 100% of the world. Epstein didn't influence 100% of the world. 9/11 didn't influence 100% of the world. COVID and Fauci influenced 100% of the world.
Shut everything down.
Yeah. No matter whether you lived in Australia, Italy, Spain, China, Japan, US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, you were affected by Fauci. 100%. 100%. That I'm very interested in. Very interested in.
And if you leave the people out of it, 70% of Americans are aligned on the COVID vaccination. Forget the people. Don't be political. Just the topic of the vaccination. 70% of America are aligned right now.
Now, can we be honest with each other? What are the odds?
Less than 5%.
Okay, and that's the one thing that it drives me bananas. That if the auto pens, remember when they lined them all up, it was all the same. And this is the thing when it comes to people like me, we want. When I say accountability, give us one of these guys. Arrest him.
But Vinny,
no,
you're not 80%.
Yeah.
Look where the Epstein issue fell.
Mm-hmm.
In the streets. Whatever we like, we think everybody else likes. They don't. Whatever we follow, we feel everybody else follows. They don't. They don't. That's how this works.
For sure.
So that's telling you that. Adam, give me your final thoughts and then.
Well, look, I'm not going to do what you thought I was going to do and just freak out and just tell you that you were wrong and tell you I was right. I wouldn't do that. I'm better than that. I'm not going to tell you that I'm good looking and you're ugly and I'm smart and you're stupid. I wouldn't do that to you, Vinny.
You would say stupid, though.
Okay, I would. But I do think there was a message here in this sort of mini intervention that we had for Vinny. I don't think you're a loser. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're a gullible weakling. I don't think you're any of the things that Trump called his own base. I do think you've been a little bit brainwashed. And this has been my entire emphasis of our point and what we did today. Hold on.
Go ahead.
And when I said, yeah, okay, I'd like to know what happened with Epstein, but I'm not going to lose my mind if I don't get the exact answer that I've been looking for. And what's been happening is that they told you what happened and you disbelieve it and you go down a rabbit hole to unprove what has already been proven that you didn't prove. And it's just a pathway to nowhere. So I think PBD, because he loves you and appreciates your perspective, we all do, he's like, well, look, dude, maybe you're wrong on this one. And here's some data that shows you how wrong you are. Is it 1% of the
that doesn't mean that I'm wrong at all. That's not you. You just missed the point. No, I'm not wrong.
I'll tell you why you're wrong. because on the top 20 issues that Trump campaigned on,
No.
Epstein wasn't on the
I
list.
also disagree with what you're
All
saying,
right.
bro.
Well, then
That's
let me
not
finish
it.
my statement, and then you guys can
Yeah.
disagree. On polling of America about you're ready to basically call Donald Trump a liar,
Bro,
Kash Patel a liar,
they
Dan
did.
Bongino.
They did.
You said they're all liars.
They did.
And now public polling is actually
But-
his
but-
approval is higher than ever.
By the way,
So maybe I'm misinterpreting this wrong.
No. Those two don't correlate here.
Tell me where I messed up here.
Enton, no, it's not that you messed up.
Exactly.
You're assuming, Enton is telling you that it's not people's top issue.
Yes.
And only it was one person's top issue. Not
Yes.
even 1%. He said it.
Correct.
One person's top issue. And his popularity even went up.
Exactly.
And the point I'm trying to make is X is not America. YouTube is not America.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram is not America. Fox News is not America. CNN is not America. These are all factions of America. And to him, this is a very important matter, period. He's got nephews and nieces. He has the right to do so. And you can say, no, it's not important to me. And then data can prove both people wrong and say, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Here's what America's interested in. All right, great, cool. And we move on.
Yep.
So it can still be very important to the guy. The only thing I'm saying is allow the right people to wash your brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Some of the dirt, that washes you also, the shit sticks.
Listen,
And
I've
it's
been
hard
wrong.
to do so.
I've been wrong a ton of times. And I'll say, yeah, my bad. I was wrong on this. I was wrong on Trump, Russia. I've been wrong. And I have the balls, just like Ken Langone said about Trump. Listen, when I'm wrong, I'm going to say, yo, my bad. I move on. That's the biggest problem here.
Yeah.
You're just validating everything that I stood for the last two podcasts is that you're doubling down on what nobody else gives a shit about as much as you. I respect that you think this way, but nobody else does.
Okay.
One other guy, and it might have been
your
you.
convictions, and you're brainwashed in other situations.
No.
And it is what it is. Adam, you're
the
brainwashed
data,
too.
Here's the problem.
We got to wrap up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
11:40.
You don't have the balls to say, you know what, I was wrong. Say you were wrong. You were wrong
about
tomorrow
what?
we have
Oh my God. It's like we're in a
tomorrow
pointless situation
we have
here.
Charleston White. Guys, there's going to be a lot of brainwashing, but it ain't going to be clean water. So you're going to hear some stuff that's going to be very offensive when this goes out tomorrow. 1 minute he's bashing the president. Next minute he's saying he's the reason why he voted for him. Next minute he's bashing him again. And the next minute he's the greatest of all time. It's a very weird podcast. However, those of you guys that are competing for the Menect contest, I can't wait to see you guys here. We only have 2 weeks left for those of you that are competing and they're still in it. Rob, if you want to go to the Leaders Bulletin, out of nowhere for lightweight, John Kiraku is first place. Ashley Glenn is still there. Wow, Giancarlo's at 140 2 months combined. You have Scott Woolley, Dan Rohn, Reinhold YouTuber, Scott Storch. Oh, wow, Scott could be in this one. Julio Gonzalez, and then who's 9th and 10th, Rob? I don't know who's 9th and 10th. Terlin and Anna Kasper. Anna Kasper is 10th place. And then let's go to middleweight. On middleweight, we have Tommy Robinson, Dean Mason, Constantine, DJ Shipley, Aaron Mont, Patricia Busquets. You got a bunch of other guys there. Then go to heavyweight, Mason, Brinkat, Mara, Garcia, Matt Sapala, Sardor, Cap Chatfield, Brock, Santino, Patrick Williams, and then super heavyweight, Lindy's destroying it. She's just on. She's going to break a record this month, Lindy. And Vincent Oshana, Timothy, Andy Elliott was like, I'm going to break every record here. He slowed down a little bit.
Slowed down, but
you
Lindy
got
Lee is just
Timothy
on fire.
Ryan. Then you got myself, Tom, Adam, Andy, Vargas, Gargullo, who's 10th place. Dennis Panev. And then go to users.
Gargullo.
It's going to be Zeus.
Users going to be top 3 categories. So Kylan Webb. Oh, okay, so it could be Kylan, Mike Lamb, and Shahtaj. They're top 3 right now competing for it. Anybody can go. All you need to do is connect people, ask people questions in there, and you leave people reviews and unique reviews, you score points. So you can download the app and ask them and compete. And you're going to come out here and have dinner with us, and then we're going to go to the cigar lounge afterwards and hang out together and go to the existing experts.
Zeus is
holy
destroyed. Moly.
But look at the race between Dorothy and
I love
Dalton.
Dorothea.
Hecka's there. I'd love to
awesome.
meet Hecka. I'd love to meet Hecka.
Dr. Cox.
Great.
Hecka's
So we're going to have a good
awesome.
time. Gang, download the app. It's going to be a big announcement with Menect coming here. I'm so
Like how
excited.
soon?
Like I'm talking like
month.
One will be in 3 to 4 weeks. Then the big one's going to be in September at the Vault. Massive. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.